Hello, good evening and welcome back to the Masters Championship. Tonight, round 8, France, 8 drivers, pretty much 10 minutes left, so I'm not even going to dilly down with an intro. I'm just going to pretty much crack on with it, and you can see at the minute Kevin, TMC-Round has got a 4/10 lead at the minute in qualifying over Lyronic, so 27.2 from Kevin. That's an unbelievable lap time as he cuts the track to try and get back to get back to the pits pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a good lap time from Kevin so far, good banker lap. Lyronics and Whisker close to each other, and then Merck's not too far behind either, so it's a pretty close gap from about second the whole way down. But I have been told there is rain in the race, so you're probably going to see lap times a bit slower than what they should be. So it'll be interesting because we know what it's like in this game. It's very hard to overtake, but there is a lot of reserves in tonight. As you can see, Kagini's in Cully's also in as well, Joe's also in, and there's one more, yes, and Graining, who used to be known as LVO Graining, who used to race a couple of seasons back, but yeah, he's in as well. So 18 drivers, so let's get her going. We'll see who's actually on our lap. Get all this up first. This lap, I think Matter's on the lap. No, he's just coming into the pits. Beastas is on the lap, so we'll go with Beastas. Jetty's just crossed the line with the 20-1, puts him into P13, but he's probably going to start his lap now. We'll watch Beastas, see if Beastas gets on. As his main challenger, Scuba, is not here tonight, so he has a good chance to take the lead or to close the gap to him in the championship. So, fingers crossed he actually gets a good result tonight. But he is coming around the last corner now. Pretty decent traction, still got a lot of ERS left. As he crosses the line, is he going to beat Kevin's pole time? He isn't, but he's going to do a 27.8, which puts him in the P4, so it's not a bad starting position. It's not a bad banker either, so it's good from Beastas. He needs to keep improving. Jetty is invalidated this lap, so we're going on board with Jono. See how Jono gets on. As I believe that's Beastas just getting out of the way. Yes, it is. Jono's 7th gear. Takes a nice tight line into turn 4. Coming into turn 5, very tricky corner. But he hooks it up pretty well. This corner here as well, just go as wide as you possibly want, but he takes it pretty well up on the turn 7. Now activating the DRS, burning most of his ERS now, coming up in the turn 8. See he does as he hits 207 miles per hour, so it shows he's got a wee bit of straight line speed in the turn 9. I believe this is turn 10, so it's a good sequence of corners for Jono. See now he takes the fast right hander. It says he's gone purple in the second sector, but I highly doubt that. He go now into turn 10, flat out in 8th gear. Downshifts into 4th. Is he going to go to 3rd? No, he's going to stay in 4th gear up into 5th. What's he going to do here? Is he going to go into 2nd or stay in 3rd? He's going to stay in 3rd up into 4th. So Jono's got good rotation in the car at the minute. Nice tight line. It's a tricky corner, these last two into turn 15. Goes a wee bit deep, but double up shifts into 3rd gear. Now let's see what he does with the rest of his ERS as he gets down to the end of the line. That's a 28.3 from Jono. To be fair, it actually looked like a relatively decent enough lap. If you're going to just start one, we'll see who's further up the field. Adam's also about to cross the line very shortly. He takes a nice tight line into the penultimate corner. Nice tight line in the last corner as well, good traction. What can Adam do? This looks like this could be a massive improvement. Is it going to be a 27? It is, it's going to be a 27.7, puts him in the P3, so it's a good lap from Adam. Believe Ironics hasn't validated. We'll just check, I think he has because it's red, but we'll just see what the lap time would have been. It was going to be 27.3, so it actually wasn't too far off. He did improve by a couple of tenths. As I have absolutely no idea why Matt, as I should say, actually went up on the P4 with a 27.7, so it's a decent enough lap from Matt so far. So anybody on lap, Elvio Green is on a lap. He's currently a couple of hundreds up on his time. 4th gear, Red's it in 4th gear. Nice tight, nice wide lane to get early traction. Oh, looks like he was getting a bit of it wiggle on, and he is. He's probably coming back into the pits. Matter's also starting a lap. What about Coutinho? He's invalidated. Chubbs is coming into the pits. Yarham's on an out lap. What's Sully gonna do? Turn 3, oh, he's invalidated at turn 3. Joe's still in the pits. Matter's the only one that's I think actually on a lap that has not invalidated. So we'll see how he gets on now. Into turn 9, nice tight line. See, deploys more ERS. See how he gets on now, the fast right-hander. Turn 10, nice tight line. Usually sometimes you clip back here, but the car can lose the back end, but it doesn't on this occasion. Turn 11, turn 12. So he goes as Kikinho gets out of the way. Wide line, a lot of drivers seem to take a nice wide line to get on the traction pretty early. He's past turn 12 into turn 13. Turn 14. Nice tight line as well from Matter again. Into the last corner, how does he take it? Wide line. Oh, on the curb wee, but still decent traction. It doesn't look like it's going to be a... It looks like it's going to be an improvement, but it doesn't look like it's going to be trouble in the 27s. It isn't, it's going to be a 28.7, so it puts him down in the P11. And I'm going to quickly change my graphics. Not my graphics. No, not that either. I don't even know what I'm looking for. On-screen display, that's it. Full track map, that's what I'm looking for. I don't know why it's not giving me it. That'll be alright. Yeah, that should be alright. As Kevin actually sets at 27.0, so he's actually improved on his lap time, so that's 6 tenths now. Kevin's just... Man's just not giving. He's just... Actually, these extra points for him in pole position are adding up. Just showing once again that he's a TT merchant. As we get the link onto Twitter. There we go. That's us pretty much ready to go for the last runs. Oh, Kikinho looks like he went completely into that pit lane, but not too bad. Everybody else now just in the pits. The only person out on track is Beastas, and it actually looks like he's going for a lap as well. He is purple through the first sector. See if Beastas now gets on. Can he beat what would be it? 207 miles per hour down the straight. We'll see who's got the better straight line speed. He's 205, so he's on the wee bit more front end grip. You can clearly see nice tight line, beautiful traction. He's on now. Is he going to go purple in the middle sector? It shows he is going to go purple, but it's only 800ths of improvement, so he's only really going to be troubling. Could probably trouble Adam Mako if he nails this last section. He could have put himself in the third place. Oh, but I say that he's went completely wide. Yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to be much of an improvement now. I think he'll probably come back into the pits to do one more run. Yeah, he's going to do one more run. He's messed up the lap. It's unfortunate because he needs a strong result here tonight. Kieran Chopp's also out. And Chubbs is starting his final run, so we'll see how he gets on. Beautiful change of direction through the first two corners. Up now into turn 3. Into fourth gear, into third. Keeps it in third, now into second. Says Chubbs goes purple in the first sector. To be fair, it's been a decent run from Chubbs so far. Car looks like it's pretty hooked up. See how he gets on now. He hits... Chubbs is only hitting 204 miles per hour, so it looks like he's on a wee bit of a wet setup. And he's invalidated again, so Chubbs looks like he's maybe going to be starting down at P15. Which is nobody wants in the wet. I think Kieran Chopp's going to be the next person to actually start a flying lap. We'll see if there's anybody else even close. I don't think there is. Yeah, Chubbs is pretty much... Thing is, will Chubbs have enough ERS to go again? I think he might, because he's saving it at the minute. Made him enough ERS on field to go one more time. As Kieran Chops just starts up, we'll just see if Chubbs is going to start. So he is going to go for another one, so we'll go back to him after. We'll go with Kieran Chop first, see how he gets on. Wee bit of understeer through mid corner, but it wasn't too bad. As he comes up into turn 3. Oh, wasn't as confident through them sequence of corners, but third gear, 22 flat, so he was 4 tenths down on what Chubbs was doing through the first sector. But that's probably definitely just prioritising a wet setup, because it's the way you should be doing it if it's going to be a wet race, pretty much to most of it anyway. As if Kevin is on the dry setup, he's going to be pretty screwed, I would say. See how Kieran Trap gets on. He's just sticking as close to the edge as possible. Still flat out. We'll still see how he can do, because despite being 4 tenths down on what Chubb's going to do, this might still be an improvement. Kevin's getting out of the way. So is Chubbs. As he comes now into turn 13. Into turn 14. Oh, it's wide. Kiara doesn't want to hook up with him. He's into the last corner. Keeps it in second gear. Thought he would have went to first. Let's see what he does now when he crosses the line. Is it going to be an improvement? It is, but it's not going to be much. And Chubbs is good at it, so he's invalidated this lap. My telemetry's pretty much messed up, so I don't know who's actually going to be the next person across the line. Right on board with Merck to see how Merck gets on. And then after it might be the Renault of probably Coutinho. There's a Ferrari down the pits as well. I believe that's probably Greening or Yarham. And it was Yarham, because Yarham's on a 28.5. See what Merck can do. Can he make an improvement? He does, but it only goes into P6 for Merck, so he might be a wee bit disappointed with that. See what Coutinho can do. Can he make an improvement? Can he challenge Kevin? He does. He's on a 27.8 in the P7. Jono goes up in the P9. Matt as well up in the P3 with a 27.6. Then Wesker and Adam are close to each other, but Adam's time has been invalidated. Wesker's time's still valid, so we'll see how Wesker gets on as he comes now around the last corner. What's he going to do coming down the straight? Is he going to make an improvement in his time? He is, and he's going to go up in the 3rd place from Wesker. That's not bad. Alonso's 2 tenths up on his time. Can he challenge maybe around Beastas and Coutinho? As Joe does not set a lap time. Oh, Alonso's went deep. Still decent traction out of the last corner. We'll see if this makes much improvement as Kevin goes quicker with the 26.9. And Alonso, I don't know what that was. I think it was P11 he went. It was P10, sorry, it was P10. So Kevin takes pole position by 7 tenths of a second. So he's definitely prioritised the dry setup compared to everybody else. Sorry, it was actually 4 tenths of a second, my bad. But yeah, Kevin takes pole at the minute with a 26.9. Then you have Lyronix in second with a 27.3, 27.6 for Wesker. Then you have Matt and Adam 4th and 5th, Merck in 6th, Coutinho 7th, Beastas in 8th, Jetty 9th, Alonso 10th, Jono 11th, Greening in 12th, Kieran 13th, Johan 14th, Matter 15th, Chubb 16th, Cully 17th, and Joe 18th. So there was 3 guys at the bottom did not set a lap time, which is probably just want to start at the back and avoid any carnage in the turn 1. But yeah, pretty much just gotta wait until the countdown. So it is pretty close in behind, like from Lyronix the whole way down till you probably say Alonso 1 tenth is only 6 tenths, which is not that much. But we will see what the conditions are like. Are they going to be in inters or are going to be wets? Because apparently it's raining. Oh, it's heavy rain. It's heavy. It's full wets. Well, this is going to be a fun race for most drivers. Kieran Trapp and Chubbs have, I believe in their last 7 league races, have had, or in the last 8 league races, sorry, have had 7 wet races, so these two boys just love the wet conditions anyway. They were pretty pissed that it's raining, but sure, this is what happens. So we just wait for everybody to ready up. I think this might be an okay race. I think Kevin's going to struggle at the start, but I think Lyronix might get him. Or maybe even Wesker. I don't know. Wesker might pull off another dominant performance like he did last week. He felt like the Lewis Hamilton of real F1 last week. As it says, just recommended predicted pit strategy is wet, so doesn't look like it's going to dry up. Which is a real shame, but you never know with this game, you never know what's going to happen. Well, I just figured what was wrong with the track map. I had it in mini, so yep, that's a boobaloo on my part. But here we go. Everybody on the full wet, as there's 2 messages in the chat, so we'll see how that goes. Probably could be Mike. Oh, it was Scuba telling me, sorry, I've only seen that there now. I appreciate it. I didn't even realise until there now, to be honest, but yeah, just riding board here with Wesker, these conditions look pretty treacherous. And the reason Scuba's not racing tonight is because he has damaged the hand, so I wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. So hopefully the hand's not too bad and he can maybe race next week. But yeah, Wesker's pretty much just getting these tires all ready. But sure, anybody that's in the chat or anybody that's watching, if you want to actually put your predictions in real quick at who you think's going to win, we'll have a wee discussion about it. I think personally it's probably going to be, I hate to say it though, boys, but I think Wesker might pick up an all-win. As much as you know what it's like with Wesker in the chat, him thinking he's absolutely king dick, I think he has a chance of getting another strong performance here. So I would say my top 3 this evening is probably going to be Wesker, Matt and Lyrox is what I'm going to go for my top 3. Steve Scuba predicts Lyrox and Graham predicts Matt will win, so it'll be interesting to see which one of these boys are actually right. But yeah, I think, as I said, I think Wesker's probably going to take the win here again today as everybody readies up. Joe at the back. As we get the 5 red lights coming very soon. Yellow flag in sector 3, that's just the bloody glitch in the game. Here we go. We have the 5 red lights. And the drivers are away. Kevin gets a bit of wheel spin off the start. Lyrox looks like he's got the better start, and you can see him side by side. Oh, Kevin's got a big tank slapper. I knew that it was going to happen. And to be fair though, I think it was Wesker. Yes, Wesker is in the P2 and Merck's in P3. Oh, there's contact at the back. It looks like it was an Alfa Romeo and someone else. Don't know who that was, but I think at the minute I don't know who it is in the lead. As a glitch, I think it is Matt actually in the lead, and I think it's Lyrox second. And I believe Wesker is third. So if that is the case, Matt has done an absolutely masterclass at the start. Well, the timer screen's to fix itself up now very shortly. Yeah, I think that's the way it is working. There's instance at the back, there's instance everywhere. But yeah, I think it is Matt Tybals has actually taken the lead of the race, and Lyrox second, Wesker in third. So Matt actually came from, I think it was P4 in the grid. See where it is. It was P4 in the grid. Matt's done an absolutely fantastic start, so Graham's early prediction could be spot on. As in the background as well, Yarham and Beastas going side by side, but Yarham has made the move on Beastas, and look at these conditions. These are absolutely treacherous. And Cully and Alonso's made a mistake, and Kevin's now got through. And Coutinho's left the session, so he's disconnected. He has been having internet problems, as we've had to wait on him before as well. So first, hopefully he can get back into the session. And Jetty on his return, who did have a race ban last time out, is up in the P4, so it's a decent start from Jetty. Alonso's just passing Coutinho's ghost car, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. Oh, it was Matt there. I think Kieran Tropp's just sitting back. Don't think he's any wing damage. Oh, he does have wing damage. Oh, he's got wing damage on the front left. Oh, that's not going to be good for him. Don't know who it was that absolutely stormed up in the terminal. Is he going to pit? No, he's going to stay out. May as well stay out, because especially in the heavy conditions, you know, your front wing is crucial, but at the same time, like, everybody's going to be understeering anyway, so it mightn't actually be as bad. As Lyrox has got half a second behind Matt. Wesker's dropping off, so Wesker's not showing this Lewis Hamilton pace he was showing last week. Turns out he's actually struggling at the minute, and Jetty's nearly catching up on all over his hull. And then you see ahead there as well, Lyrox is looking ridiculously quick at the minute. Looks like he's got this setup completely tuned in. As Coutinho does rejoin the session, he is going to be last, but at the minute he doesn't look like he's too far behind, so he might actually get back in and still be very close to this pack. which is one. But you see him behind Wesker is massively struggling now because the gap's now 1.9 seconds between him and Lyronix. So I can tell you after the chat now, boys, that Wesker and Stephen are going to be having a nice old ding dong chat, because Wesker's going to be like, this is ridiculous. Stephen's going to be taking a bit saying, where's the Lewis Hamilton pace that from last week? Be calling Wesker shite and everything, so it'll be fun to see that after the race anyway. See there, Merc had a wee bit of a tank slapper. And in the background, Jono, is that Jono? Where's he gone? Oh, he spun it. I'll go on board with Coutinho. Oh, he's lost the traction coming out of... Oh, it's unfortunate for Jono, as there's a safety car. So the question, this is actually going to help. Well, I was going to say it's going to help Kieran Top. It'll help those guys that actually have a bit of front wing damage, because they'll still be able to catch back up to the field instead of being so far behind. So that's not too bad for them. But Jesus Christ, look at these conditions. I bloody feel sorry for these lads, like I really do. Like, us boys all experienced this in the FTRL this week. Heavy rain conditions, fucking round Bahrain, and it was an absolute nightmare. Oh, and that was close there between... Is Kieran Top going to pit? Yes, he is. And so Kevin's going to follow him right after. Kevin was actually going to try and overtake him into the pits. Oh, that might be front wing damage from Kevin. So Kieran Top and Kevin are the only two that's pitted. Kieran Top gets a 5-second penalty. That can be removed, because that was just ridiculous from what happened there. So that will be removed. As Joe started last, he is reserving for Stephen tonight. So to be fair, he's getting a good few positions. So he's just keeping himself clean, which is what I know Stephen wants him to do. That anyway, just keep it clean, bring the car home in one piece. But yeah, pretty not much more we can do at the minute. So I may as well just pop into YouTube and see what the hell's going on with these boys here. I'll lower the volume now so nobody can hear me. Yes, Graham, full wet in France. Can't think of anything worse. Yes, I do agree with that. Well, you could have Bahrain as what you had the other night. That was probably worse, I would say, than France. But yeah, and as well, I don't actually think... I was just seeing a thing there from Graham saying, will Kieran have to actually serve his thing? I don't actually think he has served it, because it still shows it here that he's got it. If I can actually... it still says he's got it, so if when his next pit stop he will have to serve it, but it can't get removed because it was a bit bullshit, like, to be honest. But Matt still does lead the way, and Lyronix is second and Wesker's third. So this now, it's gonna be tough now for Wesker to... He needs to get his head out of his ass if he wants to have a chance of winning this race, because this is gonna be a long haul. Because at the minute Matt and Lyronix do look a lot quicker, and Matt has had a lot of P4 finishes in his last couple of league races in every league he's been in. So let's hope Matt can actually get a very strong result this evening, because I can't even remember when the last time was Matt actually won a race. Like, I haven't a clue. Be good to see him on the top spot at the podium. Like last week, he was fighting Wesker for most of the race until penalties caused him, which was, well, it wasn't even penalties actually. It was penalties, and it was also the fact that he pitted for an all set of tyres. Was another thing. He might have got second place, but just gotta wait now until, well, everybody has actually caught back up, so I don't know why the safety car's still out. But so we're gonna have to do one more lap of the safety car. So we will just see how this goes. This is one thing I hate about the full wet conditions, is that it's just literally like your tire temperatures. Like, I don't know what it is for people on pod, but I know for a wheel anyway that your tire temperatures, like, you can warm them up pretty easy, but it's just how slow you're driving. It's just fucking, if you don't get your ears up to temperature, then you're pretty much screwed. As Joe and Chubbs are having a bit of a ding dong there, so one of them overtook the other one but let the other one back through. So yeah, as I was saying about the tire temperatures, like, it's... Oh, Kieran Chops left the session. Is that a rage quit, or is that just a disconnect? Might just be a disconnect, because it doesn't look like he paused or anything. Get him back into the session quickly. See if he can get back in there. It's a bit strange, he never usually disconnects from the session unless it was a rage quit, I'm not sure. As Coutinho's still lagging pretty much as well. as Kieran Top does rejoin the session, so it was just a disconnect. But he will get back into the car just before the restart, so he won't lose too much time, thank God, because his AI would have pitted again, and that would have been probably a nightmare. But I think this lap we should be going on the way. Yes, as we are, safety cars in this lap. So it's going to be very important now for these guys to get their tyre temperatures up, because it depends how slow Matt goes. If Matt goes really slow, a lot of guys are going to have cold tyres off the restart, which is not going to be good because the back end's going to be everywhere. But we'll see, and doesn't look like anybody's weaving, so everybody must be happy with their tyre temperatures at the minute. But it's going to be important now to see when Matt actually pulls that trigger, or when he's going to go to Kieran Top, get back into his car. He's still ghosted. But he's back in it now. Oh, but Coutinho is lagging quite a bit. Looks like Coutinho might rage quit. He might disconnect again. We'll see now. We'll just ride on board with Matt to see when he's going to go. He's back in the pack up very early. And Matt's bolted. He's bolted very early. And he has caught Lyronics a wee bit napping. But to be fair, that was a strategic masterclass for Matt, because I thought he was going to wait to near enough the last corner, as Joe and Chubbs are having a bit of a scrap here. But I think Joe was still sitting in behind. Yeah, so there's not much movement there yet between them two. But Matt does cross the line, has that absolutely fantastic restart, and Wesker has fell asleep just a wee bit at the restart because he's got Jetty all over the back of him. And Coutinho has overtaken LVO Graining. They're going side by side. Are they going to go side by side into turn 1? It'd be brave. No, LVO Graining just sits in behind. I think Kieran Top is letting Kevin through. He is. I think Kieran Top's just going to take it easy for the first couple of laps, because he probably realises maybe Kevin's a quicker driver. I don't know. We'll see. The traction from everybody seems to be okay at the minute. So Beastas is the one that's actually lost out at this safety car restart, because he was caught napping, because look, it's 1.7 seconds, 1.6 seconds. So everybody else is pretty much close. Beastas is out of even getting a wee bit of a slipstream. We'll see now. Merc is right behind Jetty. Is Merc going to be close enough? He isn't, but he has got quite a lot less fuel. Oh, Jetty's back in. That's going to give Merc a prime opportunity to make a move. He's going to go for it. They're going to go side by side. It's going to be very close between the two of them. I think Merc's going to get it. Who's going to back out? I don't think Jetty's going to back out. I don't think Merc's going to back out, but I think Merc's going to get it. He has the inside, pushes Jetty wide. Oh, it's contact between the two of them. Oh, Jetty's went flying. I don't think that was anything malicious. I just think that was just down to sheer understeer. Jetty went completely into Narnia, but thankfully neither driver went into the wall. But it has cost Merc quite a bit of time to Wesker. And Adam's sniffing the back of that racing point. And Yarham's had a decent... Yarham's actually had a decent race so far, because he actually went from P14 up into P6, so it's not a bad showing. Beastas has kept it clean. Jetty was actually doing very well until this happened when Matt sets the fastest lap of the race. In behind you've Cully, and you've also got Matter. It's going to be close. There's going to be any moves in the turn 1? I doubt it. No moves in the turn 1, so everybody's still keeping it. It's still pretty close despite it being wet conditions. The midfield's close as Chubbs picks up a tiny penalty. It's not what Chubbs wants. But we'll stick on board with the closest gap, which is Matter. Stuck behind Jetty. Matter's had a decent season so far. Actually, I'll actually bring up the tables, because I actually never even went through them at the start with the race, because I was just too occupied. But we'll actually go through here. We'll see what his best result is. I know his best result is a P2 so far this season. But yeah, he's P7 in the stands, and he got a P2, but he didn't start last race. So the last race he has participated in, he has actually got on the podium, but he is going to go side by side with Jetty. Is he going to make the move? No, he's not. Jetty's going to defend it. Oh, but Matter's going to try and stick it. It's tight between the two of them, but the space is given. Matter's lost track. Oh, he's lost traction. That was so close to carnage. But Cully's now trying to get himself into the action, as I believe Adam disconnected. So there's quite a few people disconnecting tonight. Not sure if it's Wesker's connection or if it's just Codemasters, as Adam has rejoined the session. I don't know if he's going to lose out to these boys before he gets back in. I think he is, because Jetty is sniffing the bumhole, and he has Kieran Toss picked up a time penalty, and that's Kevin. No, sorry, that was actually Adam's car coming back in. That's why the yellow flags were out. But oh, and it's all over the place. But to be fair, Kieran Top did get past Kevin as well at the back. I did miss that. And at the front as well, I just keep an eye on that gap between Lyronics and Matt. It's hovering between 4/10 and 5/10 a lap, so I'll keep that close. As Lyronics has now set the fast lap, so he's starting to find his groove a bit. The tyres are starting to come to him. But this midfield scrap from Jetty the whole way downwards is getting very interesting. As Corby's just quite a wee bit back from this battle. Coutinho's right behind him as well. Adam from the disconnect has lost quite a lot of places. Coutinho's picked up another time penalty. So I don't really think there's going to be any moves because everybody's just pretty much going to be following each other, because in the wet all you do is just save your ERS through the corners and just apply it on the straights. So I can't really see much overtakes unless people make a mistake, although it's very easy to make a mistake around here, especially with the traction zones. And especially with some guys maybe actually going for a wet setup. But we'll actually go on board now with Lyronix because he's right behind Matt and he's going to have a prime opportunity. But Matt looks like he's got much better traction. He looks like he's getting fantastic traction on Mercedes, but Lyronix looks like he's got the better straight line speed. Nice camera angle there, but he is coming. Matt's going to feel the pressure, but to be fair, Matt's driving absolutely brilliantly at the minute. Lyronix is getting a bit of a twitch. Matt takes a wide line. Yeah, Matt's getting so much better traction, which is what he needs, especially when it comes onto the streets. He can get better traction out of the corner, which means Lyronix has quite a bit of work to do to actually get close to them in the break-in zone. So I don't think Matt's going to be overtaken quite yet. And you see as well, Wesker is starting to close as Merck's dropped back, so Merck's not got the pace on Wesker at the minute, but Wesker is closing just a bit. On Lyronix not much, but he is closing. But at the back, it's midfield scrap. It does look like it's calming down a wee bit in terms of the rain. Like, it's not as heavy, so you might get intermediate conditions, but it's probably going to be a long way yet. Just a nice smooth driving of Matter. Two AlphaTauris, both having good seasons. Beastas is fighting Stephen for the title, and Matter is also his Beastas' teammates, so they're actually fighting for the constructors as well. And to be fair, a 6th and an 8th is a good haul of points. It's probably not as much as it would want, but it's still a good haul of points at the minute. But that can all change if Jetty passes, or if Cully passes, or if Alonso even passes. But Jetty looks like he's getting very twitchy out of the corners. Wesker, the gap from 3rd to 6th is quite big. It's about 4 or 5 seconds between them guys. Jetty, that was dangerous coming back on the track. I think Cully's going to get through. Well, Cully's had to cut the corner, but I think Matters might keep on to the position. Yeah, yes, he's going to keep it. That was very dangerous from Cully. It's Jetty and Alonso having a battle. Alonso going for a bit of a switchback. Is he going to make the move? It'd be a beautiful move if he can do it. Oh, but he's going into the pits. A few guys coming into the pits, I think, to make change onto intermediates. Yeah, there's a few guys making intermediates. Lyronix is already bolted in. I see here Coutinho, Jetty and Adam. Very close between them. And Adam's just going to tuck in behind the two of them, so at the minute, as I will get it back onto the tyres. So there is intermediates. So 3 at the bottom. So we'll see if the intermediates are actually quicker. People telling me that makes me, they don't even know if it is or not. Someone there and let me know. I don't know. It wasn't, my mic wasn't, it was fine, like it's, I don't know. My mic's been bollocks this past while anyway. I can hear myself on stream, so I think it's okay. There we go, it's sorted now. Like, I don't know what happened because it actually genuinely wasn't even muted. Because I just looked at it there and it was perfectly fine, so I don't know what the hell happened with it. Maybe it's whenever I muted it before, it just, you know, but Lyronix actually has made a pit stop, so this is strange. Why are some, I don't know why some guys are actually trying to make another pit stop. It's very interesting. Are the intermediates down that quickly, or is this just a strategic call? I've ups. A flabbergast. Oh wait, did you actually get a drive-through? Oh, he's a drive-through penalty. Oh, I didn't even clock that. I was too busy focusing on my mic. Jesus. My head's gone, boys. Actually, it's gone. But Beastars now moved in the 4th, Merckx moved in the 5th, and Alonso in the 6th, so it's strong showing so far from at least, well, both McLarens actually, to be fair, because Joe's up on the P8. Lyronix is going to be a bit annoyed that he got a drive-through penalty, but that was probably for speeding onto the VSC, so Matt is taking the lead back, and fantastic show him in the minute. Chubbs has spun. It was only a matter of time until it happened. He hits the conditions out of the last corner traction. It's just a shame for Chubbs. He's probably going to put it into the wall. Yeah, he is. He is, and that's going to be a safety car. Well, it's going to be a virtual safety car, so Chubbs, that was a nice try, man, trying to get the safety car. That was a nice try. Oh, you know, that looked like that was going to go, man, if you had pressed that any harder. Another VSC, brilliant. Let's see what's going on again in the chat. Oh Jesus, so it's been 15 minutes since been a game now, Jesus. Sorry, that's my bad. I just seen the chat there, Jesus. Yeah, I agree with that there. I agree with that, Stephen. Matt can't. It's going to be very hard for Matt to lose this now. He's got a 3.5 second lead, and Wesker does have a penalty, and so does Jarham. So if anything, he should be pretty comfortable. Like, he's got like what, probably a 10-second gap to Jarham. Like, he could, even when it changes to dry conditions, he has pretty much got. He can pretty much put a lap or two later, and maybe still be okay to take the lead or still regain the lead. We'll see now. Jetty's right behind Joe Corwhite. Jetty hasn't had good traction all evening, but he has full ERS, so does Joe. Joe's just keeping it easy, as he does. Beautiful helmet as well, I can't even see it. Well, I can, it's nice. Nice blue helmet. Joe, I love it. Love it, man. Doesn't match the car now, mind you, but it's still a beautiful helmet. Lyronix, despite his drive-through, is getting up to the back of Alonso, but is he going to be able to make a move? Because Alonso's still got a wee bit of slipstream from Merck ahead, and Merck's got slipstream from Beastars, so we can't really see much moves being made there. The move we can see is Jetty probably ahead of Joe, because Joe doesn't really have that slipstream effect. Oh, but Jetty just gets a tank stopper. Jeez, he does not like these. Oh, that was a dodgy one. We'll see here now. Is he going to be close enough, or he's not? I think both of them are just harvesting energy. Yes, they are. It's not really wasting too much. Matter into P9. Kevin, to be fair, he's a P11, but he's still going. So, to be fair, I'm quite surprised at that. But he is going to pick up an extra point anyway for his pole position. But pretty much clears up what everybody's been saying. He is a TT. He is a quali merchant. So, you know, unlike Wesker and Matt, who are both actually like race pace merchants. So, Kevin, you need to sort the race pace out, man. That's all I'm going to say to you. But Merck is close to B-Stats now, and Alonso is dropping out of that 1 second window. But the rain does look like it doesn't stop this calming down quite a lot. Yeah, I think it's going to be around about 21. Yeah, I think people will start to come in for the dry tyres, so I think it will clear up. Ahead, Lyronix made the move on Joe. I was too busy watching Jetty. That was my bad. Joe just, to be fair, Joe I think did try to fight it, but just couldn't really do anything about it, and Lyronix is now up, and he's going to hunt down Merck. But I think Merck's going to be a trickier customer to get past, because he had, to be fair, like, despite one or two mistakes, he has looked pretty decent all evening. So see, Beastas has kept himself pretty clean, and he's had a fantastic showing so far. I need to actually check the penalties. Like, Yarham's got 11 seconds of penalties, and the DRS has been enabled. So as I was saying, lap 21, it's going to be bloody earlier than that. People are going to come in. I think they'll be coming in this lap or the next lap. But Yarham's got 11 seconds of penalties, so at the minute Beastas is effectively third place, because he's not going to get ahead of Wesker, because I can't see Wesker picking up another penalty. So that's the way it is. But Matt's got a pretty comfortable lead, and can this be the win that helps Matt? Because he's actually fighting Beastas too, to be first. So I actually think if Matt wins this and Beastas finishes third, I think Matt, I don't think he jumps him, but he definitely gets within single digits of him anyway. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we'll see now if Matt's actually going to make a pit stop. No, he's not. He's going to stay out. I think most drivers are going to stay out, but the DRS has been enabled. Oh, Beastas has bolted. Oh, so Beastas is going to be the guinea pig here. This is going to be oh, and Merck's joined them as well. Or no, Lyronix has joined them, sorry. This is going to be interesting, because this is still raining. I think these two guys have made a mistake. Although there's quite a few drivers that have pitted. This is interesting now. Beastas went for the mediums. I think Lyronix is going to go for the mediums as well. Yeah, most drivers are going to go for the mediums. This is going to be interesting, because you can still see it's clearly raining, so I've absolutely no idea how this is going to work. We'll keep an eye on Beastas, and we'll see if he is gaining. To be fair, it doesn't look that bad. It was 17.6, it's now 17.1, so he is gaining. So it actually does look like, despite the rain still being there, it is coming to the crossover point for the dry tyres. So Beastas and Lyronix might have made an absolute masterclass here. Yes, definitely, because they're gaining hand over fist over Joe. So yeah, it's dry tyres. It's going to be interesting to see, because the softs are definitely not going to last this long, so it's going to be mediums for most guys. As you see, Jetty's just made the move on Grainan, who is on the intermediates. So Beastas is, yeah, he's gaining quite a lot. Yeah, Matt's pitted. Is Wesker going to follow him? Wesker does follow him. Yarham's going to follow him as well. I think Merck's going to also bolt in. I think everybody will bolt. Joe's going to get held up a wee bit by Alonso. Oh, Alonso stayed out. Oh, that's a brave call. That is a brave call. Alonso will stay out now. I'm very surprised at that. But Matt's out on the set of medium tyres. I can't see Beastas or Lyronix being close now. They're not going to be close to Matt. But they might still jump. Are they going to jump Wesker? I don't think they'll jump Wesker either, but they will jump Yarham, I think. We'll see now where Beastas, he's coming out of the pits. As Joe Corby actually goes for the soft tyres. Now that's interesting, but Beastas is in the 4th place, Lyronix in 5th. So Yarham's lost out a bit, so was Merck. So they pitted one lap too late, but Matt is still effectively in the lead. But now we'll see now how Wesker gets on, because he is only 2.1 behind. So we'll see if Wesker's going to be quicker in the dry. So this is where it goes now. We'll see how quick Joe is, and see if his soft tyres can actually last. I don't think they will, because 12 laps, so it's going to be hard on them. But we'll see. We'll see if Kevin can put his qualifying pace into effect, because he was running the dry setup, so now he should be relatively quick enough here. As you can see, he's all over the back of Matt there at the minute. DRS is actually enabled as well, so we'll see if Kevin can make a move. I think Matt is going to have DRS as well. He's actually not. So is Kevin going to go for it? He's pretty close. He's going to go for it. Kevin down the inside. Matt couldn't defend it, and it's a beautiful move from Kevin. He's up now into P10, and he's chasing down Joe Corby. So Kevin at the minute looks like his dry setup is coming into effect, and Adams closely following Matter as well, and Matter's also picking up a bit of a slipstream from Kevin. Is he going to come back at him through the right hander? Very close. No, he's not. And ahead as well, there's Lyronix and Beastas. I must watch this as well, because it's going to come onto the DRS straight as Alonso does pit. We're driving out the pit. I think Alonso might actually try the sauce, I think, because he might get will he get them 10? I don't think he'll get them 10 either. That's going to be a tough one. We'll see what Lyronix can do. He goes mediums as well, so he does Alonso. Wesker sets the fastest lap of the race, and he has got the gap down to 1.4 seconds to Matt, so Wesker is closing quite a lot. I don't think Leironic's going to be close enough to make the move on Beastas. He is not. Yarham in behind, has got Merc behind him and Jetty behind him as well. So Yarham to first having an absolutely fantastic showing up in P5. He's had a shocking start to the season. Oh, and there's a massive scrap in here. Matter and Alonso. Or sorry, Matter and Adam. Oh, it's tight. Matter nearly collected the back of him. And you can see as well Alonso's trying to make the move. Matter tried to defend it and that's allowed Alonso to catch back up, and that's a beautiful move from Alonso. He took advantage of the mistakes that Matter made, and Coutinho's right in behind that as well. So now this is where the racing's going to start now with the dry tyres. Everybody's going to be chopping and changing. Oh, on ahead, sorry, I must get this. Leironic's and Beastas, and Leironic's has made the move on Beast. Just caught that last second. Beastas didn't really fight it too much, and Matter's picked up a penalty. Fortunate, but Leironic's now is up in the P3. Can he close within 3 seconds of Wesker? Maybe get P2? Wait to find out. Well, we've got now Merc. He's chasing down Yarham. Yarham's not deploying any ERS because he doesn't have any left. See how Merc can do now. Merc to the right hand. This is still raining. This looks absolutely treacherous on the dry tires, but these guys, must be it's a glitch for me, but these guys must have so much grip. But Matt's now pulled that gap back up now to 2 seconds, so I think he's playing the Wesker just a bit. Yarham is axe over his name, so he must be. Yarham must be disconnecting. Oh, don't be disconnecting now, Yarham, man. You're so close to the finish. You're on for a good result. I don't think he actually is. I think he's just lagging quite a bit. Maybe that's just the game. But Jetty's also pretty close on behind this as well. Joe's not, he is making inroads, to be fair, on his soft tires, because he was 4 seconds behind. That's the fastest lap of the race. So we'll see how Joe gets on. Can Joe catch the back of this pack before the end of the race? And can these tires still hold out? The background, Adam and Kevin. These two practice quite a lot, but at this occasion Adam is not going to make the move on Kevin. And Alonso, Matter and Coutinho are also pretty close, and Graining is quite a long way back, but to be fair, he's still finishing the race, which is good to see. But we'll stick with this battle for effectively P10 because this is the closest battle on track. Adam should be getting the DRS now from Kevin, but I think Kevin might have the straight line speed to defend it. He picks up a 3 second penalty. He not want that. Is Adam gonna be close enough into the braking zone? He is not. He isn't, but it depends now if he can get a good exit out of this corner here and launch himself coming into the fast right hander. But to be fair, Kevin's in. Oh, and say that there, Merc, I don't know, Merc actually was only like, Merc was like 6 tenths behind Yarham at that stage, and he managed to get past him. So that was actually, Yarham must have made a mistake, or Merc just must have some insane straight line speed, but he has made a move on him, and that's a good move from Merc, and he's up in the P5. But yeah, Adam couldn't make the move on Kevin, so Kevin's still at the minute showing relatively decent pace. In the wet he was absolutely nowhere, in the dry he's starting to come alive just a bit, although he has lost quite a bit of time to Joe, who is on the softs. It's to be expected, but he might come back at him at the end, depending if Joe's tires can last. Jetty's right behind Yarham, who is also right up the back of Merc. Can Yarham make the move into turn 1? I don't think he's going to be able to be close enough. And there's a penalty for Jetty as well in behind, but it's still pretty close here. We'll just keep on board with Yarham to see if he can make the move. I'm just looking at that gap as well between Adam and Kevin. It's not going to be close enough to make a move just yet. Going to have to wait till the DRS straight. We'll see now. Yarham, he does get a decent exit, but he upshifts too early, and I think that might have cost him. Yeah, I think Merc's got better traction out of the corner. We'll just see. He's 6 tenths behind. I can't see him gain 6 tenths on the straight. Yeah, he's not going to be close enough, so we'll just keep behind that for a minute, and we'll see if Adam's going to be close enough to make the move on Kevin. I don't think he's going to be able to either. No, he's not going to be close enough, so we'll keep it back with Yarham to see if he's able to come back. We'll keep it on the broadcast view just to see. Now Merc's still going to hang on pretty well, and Matt's still extending the gap at the front, but Leironic's has pulled that gap into Wesker by quite a lot. So 6 laps still, with 5.5 laps still to go. Leironic's might still catch Wesker on track and pass him on track, and Beastas is not too far behind as well, so Wesker could actually see himself losing 2 positions here, where Beastas and Leironic's might get the podium. This is going to be a very interesting show, because at the minute Wesker doesn't look like he has much pace on these tyres. So we'll see, and Joe's caught quite a lot as well to the back of this pack between Jetty, Yarham and Merc, and Joe doesn't have any penalties, so Joe's going to jump quite a bit here as well. Oh, bit of traction loss there from Joe, but he's going to be absolutely rapid here at the minute. Anybody in behind? Adam and Kevin's close. Adam's going to make the move now. Kevin, I can't see Kevin fighting this too much. And he does, and it's a beautiful overtake from Adam, and that's him up in the P9, Kevin in the P10, and Alonso is just close behind that as well, but not close to make any moves. So we'll keep on board now with this battle just to see, because there is 4 cars here fighting for P5, and Adam picks up a time penalty, which is not what he wants. The rain is calming down quite a bit now, but it's very hard for any of these guys to make an overtake because they're all getting DRS from each other, and I'm just keeping that gap ahead between Lyronix and Wesker. It is coming down. Lyronix is close to DRS territory. Beastas picks up a penalty. Oh, Beastas does not want that. So now this depends now if Merck can actually pull in 3 seconds. I don't think he will, because at the minute he is struggling. And in the background as well, Matter and Kagino. Kagino's made the move into turn 8, sorry, or turn 9. Good move around the outside. There is an incident at the back. Who is that? Oh, Alonso! What happened there? Oh, he's lost it. I didn't even see that. Oh, Alonso was having a fantastic showing as well. Oh, so unfortunate for him. That's one McLaren out, so Joe's going to have to do Zach Brown very proud here. But to be fair, Joe might have pulled off a masterclass here as the rain has stopped, so the lap times are going to get quicker and quicker. Matt pumps in a Lyronix does a 35-1. We'll see what Joe can do. Is Joe going to win the 34s? You bet he is. You bet Joe's going to go into the 34s. Is he going to make the move on Jetty? He isn't. He's going to be very bloody close though. He is virtually pushing him through turn 1 and 2. We'll go ahead here to the gap between Lyronix and Wesker, because Lyronix has caught that up. Merck has picked up a penalty, so a lot of drivers are picking up penalties now because they are pushing. They're trying to just see if there's any more grip out there for them. And we'll see here now what Lyronix can do. Matt also picked up a penalty. I didn't even notice that as well, so Matt needs to make sure that Lyronix doesn't get it within 3 seconds, because at the minute Lyronix is absolutely flying. And as well, Yarham and Merck. Yarham's going to make the move, and then behind as well, Joe. And Jetty, is Joe going to make the move? He isn't, but he's going to be very close. Merck's trying to get a bit of a switch back to try and get a better exit. And ahead, Lyronix is making the move on Wesker. Wesker tried to fight it around the outside, but Lyronix has took the inside line, and he is ahead and into P2. And he has 4 tenths now to get into Matt's 3-second gap. And look at this, Merck is virtually pushing Yarham through the fast right-hander. Is it going to be down the inside? No, and Joe and Jetty is still going as well. Oh, this is very close between the 4 of them. You could put a wee tobacco paper between them cars. You couldn't even, so you put it between them cars, so that close. Right, Joe looks very feisty. Always went a bit wide. But to be fair, with all these penalties that are happening, Joe is going to find himself in quite a good position here. Because Joham's got 11, maybe 14 or 13 seconds of penalties. And like, he needs the Beastas to get no penalty. If Beastas gets no penalty, Joe has a chance of actually jump a Beastas as well. As Kevin does a 32 flat, so the lap times are definitely getting quicker and quicker. Wesker's still keeping to the back of Lyronix. Lyronix is... Oh, Wesker's picked up a penalty. I think at this stage now Wesker just doesn't care. He's just going to try and beat him on track. He's losing the head a wee bit. So there's only three drivers haven't actually picked up penalties. That's a surprise. As we'll see, is Wesker going to make a move? He isn't. So for the next 3 laps, it's going to be interesting to see if Matt can keep that lead. Let's just double check he only has 3 seconds of penalties. He does, so Matt needs to be very careful, because the gap is 4 tenths. And behind as well. Oh, Joe and Jetty having a go. That's Merck out. Where's Merck? Oh, he's lost it. Oh, Merck's lost it. No. Merck was having a good showing as well. Joe and Jetty down the inside. Oh, it's tight between the 2 of them. Oh, Joe spun. Jetty's turned in them. Oh, Joe's lost it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Joe's going to be absolutely pissed. They tried to go side by side and it just didn't work. That's 2 McLarens out in the space of a couple of laps. And Matter's going to try and make the move down the inside now. And he does. Wesker's still pretty close behind Lyronix as well. The gap, to be fair, between Lyronix and Matt is not... It's going to be very... It's going to be touch and go between the 2 of them. I really want to see Matt win the race, because it'd be fantastic to see him on the top step of the podium. It's been a long time. I really hope for his sake that he can do it. Just needs to keep his head the next lap and a half, and he's got it. and hope Wesker can actually put Lyronix under pressure, but at the minute Wesker's falling out of the DRS. 1 second window. And Jetty's all over the back of Yarham, so it's going to be a very interesting showing. And Adam's right behind Kevin, and I think Alonso's also right behind his teammate Joe, so that's very unfortunate for Joe, because Joe was actually having a very good showing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Joe understeered or if Jetty turned in on him, but I think it depends, because I think Kagino's got a lot of penalties, so Joe's going to get at least 9th here. I think Matter has a few penalties as well, so Joe would get at least 9th, which is still, to be fair, not a bad showing from starting at the back of the grid, but it could have been so much better. It's just unfortunate, man. I feel for him, I really do. But we'll see now between this gap. Matt's coming around the last corner. Oh, it's just over 3 tenths. Can Lyronix find 3 tenths of Matt? This is gonna be a photo. It's not gonna be a photo finish on track, but it's gonna be a photo finish in terms of the time. It's gonna be between the two of them. Matt's gonna see that, and Matt's gonna be like, I can win this. And he's gonna use every little bit of ERS he has left. Lyronix is only 8%. Matt's got about 12% more, so Matt needs to use this wisely. Adam and Kevin still pretty close in behind. Alonso and Joe, I think Alonso's going to make the move. Joe's not really going to fight it too much. But Matter's still ahead as well, so Matter's still there for the taking. But at the minute you can see Matt Tybus is pulling out the gap. He's using that ERS very wisely. And Lyronix is trying his best, but he just can't do it. It's going to be so close. But I think Matt is going to take it. And behind this Jetty going to be close enough to Yarham. He was actually thinking about it, but he didn't go for it. And then behind Adam and Kevin, not close enough to each other either. Is Joe going to come back at his teammate? He is not, but is Jetty going to come back at Yarham? He isn't. I'm just going to keep an eye on the track mapper just to see where Matt is. Jetty's going to go for the inside. He's not close enough, but at the minute Joe Corby's picked up a penalty, so there's only 2 people that hasn't done it. But it looks, the minute Matt Tybus, is he going to? He looks like he's going to take the win. He comes across the final corner. He has plenty of ERS left. Matt crosses the line, and he's going to win the French Grand Prix by 8 tenths of a second to Lyronix. Fantastic drive from Matt Tybus. Deserves the win. He'd been pretty happy with himself there. He's been fantastic pace all race. In the dry, I don't think he was the quickest, but in the wet, he definitely was the quickest by far. Jetty in the P6. Adam picks up the fastest lap of the race, so he gets an extra point. Kevin and Adam 7th and 8th. Gagino's going to take 9th. Matter's going to probably take 12. Oh, Matter's going to go into 9th. Alonso's going to go into 8th, so that's a good result from Alonso. Joe goes in the 10th, so despite that spin, he still does get a good handful of points. Still 10 points. And then you have Grainan just coming around the last corner now. So Joe managed to get them tires. It turns out there was only 9 laps in the end. I thought it was going to be like, for some strange reason, I thought it was going to be like 14 laps. But Grainan does cross the line now at the very end, so Matt does take the win. Fantastic showing. Graham was right all along. Graham predicted Matt to win. Joe Corby with the Brendan Lee avatar. Loves to see it. Loves to see it. Joe Corby gets driver of the day despite the spin as well. And, Matt does the dance. Oh Jesus. But it's a fantastic showing. Don't think Matt looks like that in real life now, but you know, fair play to him. But yeah, Matt does take the win by 7 tenths to Lyronix, who again is another podium for him in 2 races. That's good. And Beastars pulls a good handful of points now at Scuba in the championship. In the P3, a Scuba result from Beastars. Wesker in 4th, Johan 5th, Jetty 6th, Kevin 7th, Alonso 8th, Matter 9th, and Corby, who was actually on for a very strong showing, would have been maybe even probably ahead of Wesker in P4, is down now at 10th due to that incident with Jetty, which is unfortunate. Probably will be looked at after the race because he probably will send it in. Adam in 11th, Kikino 12th, Grainan was the last finisher in 13th, and then the DNFs was Merck, Captain Chubbs, Kieran Trapp, Cully and Jono. So pretty much that's pretty much it. And to be fair, like if you had to give driver of the day, well, I know the game says Joe did do a fantastic job. To be fair, like if he hadn't picked up a penalty, he probably would have been a good driver of the day. I know Matt did pick up a penalty, but to be fair, the way he drove the race and the way he handled it was fantastic. Lyronix probably would have won it if he hadn't got that drive through, so it was a bit unfortunate for him. But probably between Matt and Lyronix, to be fair, for driver of the day. Johan also gets a good shout out as well from going 14. fifth. So it's a good showing from them as well. But yeah, boys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the race anyway. Like, to be fair, it was a decent race. Like, to be fair, like, in the wet, things can happen. It's just DRS train after DRS train. But there was few instances that probably would be looked at after the race. But for everybody that did watch it and everybody that did comment on the stream, I know you're probably just commenting on each other, having a bit of crack with each other, but I still appreciate the comments anyway, and appreciate the people that viewed in. But yeah, that's pretty much it from France. So I will catch you all at the same time next week, and peace out. Have a good weekend.